Good morning, all, and happy Read Your Face Off. It is early, at least early for me. Yeah, I kind of almost spur of the moment decided to do Read Your Face Off, and so I thought I would do a vlog. I don't know what I'm going to get up to yet. Brain not quite functioning yet. Need the magic of the coffee, and then I'll take a look at the books that I have on the go and decide what I want to read today. So I'll be back soon. And breakfast! So here are some of my piles of books. I got a pile of comics and some library books. I have more library books and a couple of unwrappings, library. The official Read Your Face Off book of the month. I definitely want to work on that today. And then some of my other picks, including The Last Unicorn in All the Right Places. In my Friday reads, I asked people which one should I start, and The Last Unicorn won. So that I'm definitely going to be working on. First We Were Four, I'm definitely going to be working on. I want to get at least till the end of chapter 6 because that's the first discussion group part. And then out of this pile, I think Horror Story is the thriller, and I think First We Were Four was the thriller, so I think I won't do that one. Maybe I'll try Terror Made Easy out of this pile. And then from here, I don't know. I think that'll be my break books when I'm like, whoa, brain full, and then I will go to one of these books. They feel like they'd just be easier to jump into. So I guess that's it. I guess I'm starting with either The Last Unicorn, First We Were Four, or Terror Made Easy, and I will go from there. So let's see how things go. So I decided to start things off with some nonfiction, so I picked up Terror Made Easy. This was a recent unwrapping, and I've had it for many, many years, but I don't know if I've read it. I don't think I've read it because I didn't realize what she does is she assigns, I think she's got like 30 different definitions for each of the cards, so that if you have a specific question, like whether it's on, I don't know, well, they're like anxiety, rewards, romance, time, friends, like all of these different things. So if you have a specific question about a specific topic, you can get a specific answer. So I thought that was really interesting because sometimes it's true. You ask a question or you're concerned about one thing, and then the cards you get up, you're like, I do not understand how this relates. But she has an answer for every card in every section. So I'm really curious to check it out. I pulled out my Morgan Greer deck, which I don't think I've ever used. It's shuffled, but I am going to shuffle it up, and I'm going to pick a card, and I don't know, I don't have a particular question. I just wanted to do the one card pull and see how this is. So let's see. Well, no, it's that one. Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, so I got the Hermit. The Hermit. And I'm just going to look at the focus area for the Hermit. Bear with me. Missing 9. Okay, so in a reading, the major arcana always indicates an important event, category, or month, and will overpower other cards. I'm not doing a reading. 9 means, the number 9s mean that situations or events are nearing completion or have just been completed and another plateau awaits. That's interesting. And then the focus is on seeking and finding, problem solving, perfecting, or completing the final stage, summit, or pinnacle of experience in one phase of life and the dawning of the next. My birthday is next month. And or people from the past who re-enter it. That's really interesting because I do feel like I didn't realize I was kind of off kilter there. I didn't like because this feel like this summer is going to be really interesting, but I feel like we haven't quite hit it yet. So I definitely feel like that can be coming. And also I feel like I have been sort of like struggling with like figuring out something, like trying to, I keep on coming back to if I want to blog or not, again, stuff like that in terms of sharing what I'm up to, what I'm thinking about, what I'm doing. Is blogging the way to do it? Is vlogging the way to do it? Is Tumblr the way to do it? Is paper the way to do it? Is making an art project the way to do it? So I am definitely trying to find that answer. So I think that in turn, and also this summer feels like it'll be an interesting shift of things. Definitely feels like something coming. So, and also I am spending the whole day on my own reading, so definitely feel hermity on a very just sort of base level reaction to the card. I actually always like the hermit, but the hermit is also a seeker too. So there we go, hermit, hermit. So there we go, first book in the midst, and we'll see how things go. Okay, I've decided to switch gears and get into some fiction, and I'm going to go with First We Were Four. And I did start this earlier this week. I've read the first 2 chapters, so I'm hoping to read up to the end of chapter 6 and then check out the forums and see what's going on and take it from there. So I've read a couple of chapters of First We Were Four, and it's a contemporary thriller YA. I think it's YA. Uh, the the characters seem to be in high school, sometimes younger, but mostly in high school times. It goes back and forth in time a little bit, so I'm finding that a little hard to pin down exactly sort of what the what the target market is. Do I need to know that? I don't know. Anyway, but it's really challenging actually, because I find there's an ominous like tone to it. And I'm only a couple chapters in, and like you just know stuff is gonna go wrong, but I have no idea how soon or how far away that's gonna be. So it's like, you kind of find yourself feeling like not wanting to get attached to characters because something's gonna happen, and don't know what that is. I also find that there's the characters often, it's about a group of four friends, and the characters often like dare each other and tease each other and like sort of push each other, but I don't like, it's like one of those things I have sometimes stuff like that I find hard to tell whether or not they're just bugging each other, but not really, like this is like a fun thing, and then when does it become uncomfortable? But I don't feel like that's what it's about. Like I don't get a sense that it's going to be a conflict within the group. But still, I find it a little unnerving just because that's really not my personality. I don't even do well with sarcasm. And I don't tease people. So it's kind of like, and that's just like sort of the sort of fun social elements of them. And then they have to deal with, there's some not ominous, there's some very challenging situations that happen. Not situations, that's not the right word. There's some heavy stuff that goes on, and more indirectly than directly so far, but directly it's challenging stuff is going to happen. So I think I need to put that one aside right now, just because it's taking me a fair amount of time to read. I'm surprised. I really thought it would easily get to the first 6 chapters, but like it's from my e-reader, it's like 18 to 20 minutes for me per chapter, which is pretty long. I don't know, maybe I'm just really tired and reading slower. Try not to let that bug me too much, although it is a little. So anyway, I took a bit of break from reading, and of course, what did I do? I watched some YouTube. So it was fun. I got to watch Riley put up a TBR for a new challenge I've never heard of called Choir, which is clean out your e-reader. I think that sounds awesome. I totally want to do that now. And I also enjoyed watching Kath Elizabeth did a reading habits, what do you call it? Reading crisis and making some changes, where she talks about the sort of what it's like when you publicly read stuff, and does that influence what you choose to read and or choose to share, which I thought was a fascinating discussion. So now I am thinking about books, thinking about choices of reading books, and also trying to think if I can manage to work in Choir during my summer. I really enjoyed watching Riley's TBR, so got distracted in a good way. And now I think I'm going to have some lunch and then pick out what next thing is going to be that I'm going to read. I have a feeling I might not finish anything, and I'm actually totally okay with that. I would like to read a fair amount. Maybe I'll try and finish one thing. I'll probably finish like a comic or something. But so far I'm having fun, and that's the most important part. See you in a bit. And there's lunch. Lunch. Time for some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Woohoo! I had totally forgotten this was in black and white. Shredder! Yep, and it's set during... Oh, that's one of my favorite images in the comic. Yeah. I can't remember his name. Oh my god! What's their mentor's name? And then Michelangelo. So much fun! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in black and white. Woohoo! Fun times. Okay, I forgot to mention that I actually did finish this comic of Leonardo in this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles micro series. It was a lot of fun. It's just a 30-page intro to a story, and actually it's kind of two stories told concurrently. Not two stories, but they have Leonardo fighting the Foot Clan, and then they have everyone else, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and April, and their mentor dude, who I still can't remember his name, like preparing for holiday stuff, because it's actually started during Christmas, which I totally didn't realize. Anyway, so this was a lot of fun to read, and I have lots of like nostalgia, warm nostalgia memories of like TMNT at that time, so that was fun to read. I also did start a couple of things. I started The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. This one, I am not sure how I'm going to feel about this. I read a chapter, the first chapter of it, and it follows a unicorn. It's not first-person unicorn, but it's definitely from the perspective of a unicorn, and I don't know, man. Like I have a feeling it's a lot more somber than I anticipated, and from the title, I can imagine it could be a sad story. But I wasn't anticipating that. People talk about it with such warmth, so I imagine that the story goes a different way than I expect, or I don't know. So I'm a little concerned that this is going to strongly have a sort of like the moral of the story thing is going on, and I wasn't anticipating that, and I'm a little concerned about that and where it's going. So, because it's already feeling a little, I don't know. So anyway, it wasn't quite what I was feeling, so I switched gears and picked up something else, and I read some of All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This is a YA contemporary novel following two teenagers, two high schoolers, and it flips perspectives, and I find it there's a couple things I'm like, oh, I don't think that's the right term for that. But then it's like when you're reading from the perspective of someone who's like not the nicest person, maybe they would say that. I don't know. So I have little concern about it was just one thing. And then also the perspectives. What am I trying to say? This is following two different perspectives. So far, it's more heavily focused on the guy's perspective, but how he talks about himself is very different than how other people talk about him or know him or have experienced encounters with him. So that's really weird. And so I'm curious. That's got actually, I think, for me, what's pulling my curiosity is this how the girl in the story, the young woman in the story, I just use the term young woman, teen girl in the story, says, like when she talks about him, that it's almost like he's got a bravado and don't care attitude towards what anyone thinks about him. Whereas when it's from his perspective, he feels very concerned. I don't know the right thing. So not very descriptive on that, but I don't know if I'm enjoying it, to be honest. But it hooked my curiosity. This has to go back to the library fairly soon, so I'm about 50 pages, which is just this first mark. I don't know what these other things are. So 50 pages for 400. So I actually have to probably read 50 pages a day, every day till I return it, and that's a pretty quick clip. So, but I don't know. It's got me intrigued, but I don't know if I'm enjoying it. So tough call there. So I don't know what else I am going to get up to. I do think I will get at least some more reading in, but it might not be that much more than that. I might pick up one of my other graphic novels or comics and read that, or I don't know, or maybe that'll be it. I don't know. If there's another video, if there's more to the video, then obviously I read more. Other than that, I didn't do the numbers let's see if I can pretend math. This was 20, this was 50, that was 30, so 100 pages plus whatever I read. And first we were 4, which I'm reading on Kindle, so it's really hard to tell pages. But I actually think I only read about 20 pages. So that might only be 120 pages, but that's okay, right? That's right, right. Still lots of reading, and I still might get more in. We shall see. We shall see. I'm going to change things up a bit and play a little Tomb Raider. This is the definitive edition. I played it, oh gosh, 2 years ago, I think, 2 years ago, and watched the movie recently, and so I've been feeling nostalgic for some Lara Croft and scaling, scary, jumping, scaling, jumping, falling, fighting, arrow shooting, gun toting, all that stuff. Not gun, I don't like guns. But in game, if that's what you got, that's what you got. So, I'm gonna play some games. I can do this. I feel a bit like a hobbit today as I'm sitting down to a second lunch. So I decided to start yet another book, and that is this book on Kazimir Malevich, who is an artist who created a particular movement in art called, where is it? Suprematism, which I'm completely unfamiliar with, but it is quite abstract. And I love the first section is the one I read, and it's called The Seeds of Abstraction. And he's got some really cool art. They really directly show his artwork in comparison to others, like being influenced by Monet. The Monet, if you're not familiar, is this one at the bottom left, the closest to me at the bottom. The other two are ones that he did that were inspired by that. And I don't know if I've ever noticed that or seen that in an art book, how it's just so completely, how they show so completely the, not development, the inspiration one to the other. The one that he did that I found really fascinating, and I kept on flipping back the pages. This one, Man with a Sack. I love it. The colors are going all wonky. Look at how big the guy's hands are. His forms, at least at this early stage of his work, are all very large. Like large and round and very exaggerated in terms of the features, in terms of the hands. And I'm finding it fascinating. So this one I picked up on a lark at a recent library trip. I hadn't heard of the artist at all, and but when I flipped through it, it looked really good, and it's not that long. So, and I always like reading nonfiction art books, so I am going to continue to read that. But I read one section, and it's pretty brainy stuff because it's like art history and talking about different movements, and I don't know what all the different movements are. And I have a pretty good grounding in art history, but you know, I'm getting a little on the tired side of things, so I think I will leave more of that for later. But I read about 20 pages, so overall so far I think I can't remember if I'm at, that puts me at 120 or 140, which isn't bad. But I think I'm going to break for a bit, and I might read more later, I might not. But if not, I think I did pretty good, even though I started tons of stuff and only finished Leonardo. If you're going to finish anything, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If I read more, I will come back with more. If not, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you had a great time participating in Read Your Face Off. If you participated, I thought it's really fun. It was really fun to do this, and I'm already looking forward to next one. Alright, thanks for watching, unless there's more, and then thanks for watching more. So I guess I won't be putting a vlog together today, because I'm on only 4%. Several times.